Good morning, Blue Jay friends. Are you guys ready to sing our good morning song? The sun is shining, good morning, and we're all smiling. Good morning to everyone. Hooray, hooray, have a good day. All right, let's jump right into Twinkle Twinkle. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Great work, friends. All right, I know I'm wishing for a little bit of sunshine today. So why don't we sing You Are My Sunshine together? You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. Great work. Now I know yesterday we were talking a little bit about lifespans. So that's how long it takes for us to go through a life cycle, a living thing to go through a life cycle. So I had asked you guys about 5 different creatures, about which one might live the longest. Do you remember what they were? We had butterfly, regular housefly, tortoise, human, and frog. 5. So did you guys find out which one typically lives the longest? I know a couple of you did because I got some responses. Well, everybody who answered me was absolutely right. It is a tortoise. And tortoises typically live between 80 and 150 years. Can you imagine living for 150 years? And that's just their average. They can even live longer than that. Can you imagine all the things that you would see that would happen in your world in that long of a time? That's wild. Now, a tortoise is an animal you might not have come across yet. It looks really similar to a turtle. It can get really, really big. And they live for a really, really long time. So I thought we could make a chart together about the length of the lifespans. So I already have one written up here. This is just like what we would do with our chart paper at school, but this is smaller because I don't have big chart paper here. So we've got fly, frog, human, tortoise, and butterfly across the bottom. And then along this side we have how long they might live. So we have 6 months, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 50 years, 100 years, and 150 years. That's a long time. And we just talked about the tortoise living about 150 years. So we're going to write that one in. Here's the tortoise right here. And it's going to go all the way up to the top. So I'm going to fill that in really quick with red. And the tortoise is going to be our longest living creature of the ones we've talked about. Okay. You have to color in a lot because it goes all the way up to the top. And there we go. Tortoise covers our whole chart. Now, if the tortoise lives the longest, what creature do you think might live the shortest amount of time? What do you think? Let's think about that for a minute. Could it be a fly, a frog, a human, or a butterfly? Who lives the shortest length of time? That means the shortest amount of time it takes to go through the entire life cycle. It's a fly. Flies live for just under a month, about 28 days. It takes them to go through their life cycle. So they're not even going to fill up the 6-month box. See? Right there. They are our shortest living creature. Now, a butterfly comes in a close second on shortest. Butterflies also live about a month, but they're a little bit longer because they can live for a little bit longer based on weather conditions, when the eggs are laid, things like that. So they also live roughly about a month, maybe a little bit longer than a fly. So we're gonna make their bar in orange just a little bit bigger than the blue. So now we've got human and frog. Let's talk about humans first. Humans, on average, live about 80 years. And that's give or take. Sometimes people live much longer than that. But on average, about 80 years. So where do you think that falls? Around here. Let's take a look. It's going to be between 50 and 100. A little bit closer to the 100. Okay, so we're going to draw that in with purple. So humans live about 80 years. So there we are, right up near the tortoise. And then we've got one left. Frog. Where do you think a frog might fall in here? I don't know if you guys looked this up, but I was actually pretty surprised. Frogs live longer than I thought they did. It says that a pet frog can live up to 15 years, but out in the wild, just on their own, living outside, it's usually between 8 to 10. So that's where we're gonna kind of put them at. We're gonna put them at the 10-year mark. Now, while I was looking up about frogs, even though they're not on our list, toads also came up. And toads live just a tiny bit longer than frogs. Toads live between 10 to 12 years. So, here we go. We have frog in yellow. So, our longest living animal is a tortoise. Our shortest living creature is a fly. Then we have butterfly, frog, and human. Pretty cool, huh? See if you can find other creatures that you'd like to find out more about. These are only 5 out of so many different living things. So maybe later today you can seek out other animals, other creatures to find out how long they live. All right, my friends. Since we talked about frogs, a little bit about toads, why don't we read a frog and toad story? I don't know what is going on with my camera's light today. It's making it really hard to see. All right, let's read a frog and toad. Let's see, we already read spring. Why don't we read down the hill. This one's about winter. You guys ready? Here we go. Frog knocked at Toad's door. "Toad, wake up," he cried. "Come out and see how wonderful the winter is." "I will not," said Toad. "I am in my warm bed." "Winter is beautiful," said Frog. "Come out and have fun." "Blah," said Toad. "I do not have any winter clothes." Frog came into the house. "I have brought you some things to wear," he said. Frog pushed a coat down over the top of Toad. Frog pulled snow pants up over the bottom of Toad. He put a hat and scarf on Toad's head. "Help!" cried Toad. "My best friend is trying to kill me." "I'm only getting you ready for winter," said Frog. Frog and Toad went outside. They tramped through the snow. "We'll ride down this big hill on my sled," said Frog. "Not me," said Toad. "Don't be afraid," said Frog. "I'll be with you on the sled. It'll be a fine, fast ride. Toad, you sit in front. I'll sit right behind you." The sled began to move down the hill. "Here we go," said Frog. There was a bump. Frog fell off the sled. Toad rushed past trees and rocks. "Frog, I'm glad that you are here," said Toad. Toad leaped over a snowbank. "I could not steer the sled without you, Frog," he said. "You are right. Winter is fun." A crow flew nearby. "Hello, Crow," shouted Toad. "Look at Frog and me. We can ride a sled better than anybody in the world." "But Toad," said the Crow, "you're alone on the sled." Toad looked around. He saw that Frog was not there. "I am all alone," screamed Toad. Bang! The sled hit a tree. Thud! The sled hit a rock. Plop! The sled dived into the snow. Frog came running down the hill. He pulled Toad out of the snow. "I saw everything," said Frog. "You did very well by yourself." "I did not," said Toad. "But there is one thing that I can do all by myself." "What is that?" asked Frog. "I can go home," said Toad. "Winter may be beautiful, but bed is much better." All right, guys, I'll see you later for some stories.